Check one, check two. That's right. Live on wax. Yeah, buddy. What you know about that, LB? Get
Check
to it.
one. You sound like, hey, you sound like my boy. Where I grew up, man. You know, you had those DJs, baby.
Jim
Check one, check
Brogan,
two. Hey,
JP.
I got what's my man name? Golly, Alan P, baby. Alan P. We used to go. Hey, that's when we used to go to Pac Jam. All right, I went back there and go. Hey, had those DJ parties and all that stuff, man, to get it done. I got mirrors on the bedroom, so
God, stop. That's BC.
Hey, that's the BC days, man.
Man, you just scared me, LB.
Hey, those DJs, man. Hey, they don't stop, get it. Don't stop, get it. DJs make you wanna party. Let's dance.
Hey,
dance to the drummer beat. Let's dance. Let's dance to the drummer beat. Hey, they used to
get it.
Hey, they take that. Hey, do they still do that?
I don't know if me.
Hey, that was the classic. I mean, for them to be like just basically rapping, music, you know.
There go my big brother Grove. He said, "Big Ace, hi."
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Sideline, the baseline.
You taking it back.
MB and Klew, man. We just took y'all back Florida style, man.
Hey, you know? No doubt. Hey, and then also don't cheat them now, Klew. You have your mixtape in there. You got those what dudes had 12, 16 booms in your car. That thing just be bassing, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, LB. And what it was is at that time, boy, if your music was clean, you tried to keep the trunk from rattling. You didn't want the trunk to blah, 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 blah.
No doubt.
You used to want to make it tighter. You put that stuff, I forget what kind of tape to help it so it wouldn't vibrate, so it that clean boom.
Yeah. Had those had those subwoofers. The whole trunk was full. Yeah. And then behind the back seat.
Yeah.
I mean, you just man, that generation, they probably need to check their hearing, man. They're probably deaf right now.
Well, that's us, MB.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you think about it, remember the club was really after the club because they ride around with their cars with the bass in it. You like, man, one day I'm gonna be able to get me 412s.
Yeah. You had the rims. I mean, that was the whole. You had the total package, baby.
Hey, so MB, this the funny part. See, you being, a Homestead, going to Miami, where that was going crazy. Yeah. Big Grove had 6x9s, man. He had about 4 of them back there that he put in there himself.
The train, baby. Slow down. Yeah.
So you remember, you didn't know how good you had it, MB, because you went to Miami and then everybody, you knew, man, they had cars, they had music, like everything was around you. Well, I went up to Durham, North Carolina. They didn't even know what that was. So, LB, we went up there by 3-4 us Florida boys and brought our cars. LB, they thought we was somebody. We was big time. LB ain't had but some 16-inch rims, boy. You could have thought I was sitting on 20.
Oh man.
Yes.
And then back in the day, they used to have with those gold spokes, the spokes that stick out,
Oh man, that's 30s and low, man.
Yeah.
Why did Trues and Vogue?
Yeah.
Come on, LB.
Yeah. Because California, like down south, we had that bass, boom,
right.
That up north, Chicago, they had that what's the house music or whatever they call it,
Yeah, we ain't listening to that.
And then West Side had more of the bouncing, with the cars and stuff. We didn't really have that too much down here, We had those bass and those rims on that thing, baby. That's what it was about,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Hey, man. Well, guess what? We still getting over this election stuff. And guess what's still here? The COVID, baby. The NCAA COVID strikes again. SEC and Big Ten and Pac-12 hit hard by COVID this week.
Yeah.
SEC games postponed. Big Ten, Pac-12. Them games, a couple of games are canceled. The big one that's being canceled, obviously, Big Ten. Our guys, Ohio State. They getting canceled this week. They was gonna run through Maryland. It was gonna be ugly, but that game's canceled. Maryland coach definitely said, his kids come first. He apologized to the fans about COVID, but you can't apologize, man. What you apologizing for? This is what MB and I expected. This is what we were saying. And now it's getting crazy, MB. When you look at it, who's truly gonna be a champ? The team that can actually play that week. I think they the champ.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about it because I know later on, I mean, you look at Wisconsin, right? I mean, they got a potential of being out both of their quarterbacks when they take on Michigan. Short season, They get that L. If those guys ain't able to play because of COVID and the 21-day rule, I mean, I think one of them could possibly play on Saturday. The other one, they don't know too much detail about it. And now you're at your third string, really fourth string quarterback because the guy that was potentially supposed to start heading into the season, he had surgery on his foot,
Right.
So yeah, you're right. It's crazy, man. A lot of juggling act and whatnot. And then your brother was talking about it, how do you compare? You got Ohio State that now the game reduced, now playing full season. Then you got ACC that's full speed ahead, for the most part, getting their games in,
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. So now it's almost like you're grading on the curve,
Right. And I'll mention the games, Alabama, LSU. I think LSU did that on purpose. I sure would have. I would have. I don't care what y'all talking about, man. I would have told, hey,
so
if
a lot of false positives, huh?
What? I'm like, hey, if I'm Ed, look here, man. Medical department, I need 25 people with COVID this week. I don't care how y'all spend it, 25 need to go down. Then you look at Ohio State and Maryland. Maryland actually coming off of two great offensive performances back-to-back weeks. So they're excited about getting out there on offense, but get what? I need my starting 11 out on defense. They need to have COVID medical team. Okay, how y'all spend it? And then if you Tennessee, if you prove it right now, man, you trying to get anything. I want COVID. I want chickenpox. I want the measles. So, hey, look, Texas A&M coming into town, MB. I'm Tennessee. We got everything. You Georgia, Missouri. Again, if I'm Mizzou, I got something. Not Georgia. I don't want to see Georgia coming off no blowout loss against Florida. No, we got problems over here. We got headaches. We got the flu. We coughing. Everything wrong. But if you look at that Auburn, Mississippi State, man, we said we need this game that we wanted to play.
Yeah, we wanted that, man. And Auburn they've been dealing with that COVID stuff all even before the season start. They've been having a lot of numbers, man, And then one go ahead, I'm sorry.
So let's talk about this then. And this question directly you take this away. One of the issues preseason we talked about, we didn't know how they were going to do this. So they did it anyway. But MB, if I'm a coach on the hot seat, if I'm Gus Malzahn right now, if I'm Babers at Syracuse, if I'm Kevin Sumlin in Arizona, y'all going to fire me off this, MB?
Right. Yeah.
Off this?
Yeah. Exactly.
So what do you do with that? What's your opinion on shit these coaches? Because you know what it is. If you put it out there on film, baby, we got to evaluate it.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's the thing, Klew. I think every case is a little different, right? Because you mentioned Syracuse. I mean, they don't have excuse. They don't have COVID as excuse. It's just they don't have players. You know what I'm saying? Auburn, I know for a fact they have been affected, but they still got their key players. They as far as the quarterback and stuff like that, and then they been inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So You look at that. So I think each case is different, where COVID could be the reason. And I think, but man, when they want to get rid of you, man, they'll find an excuse to get rid of you. And when they want to keep you, they'll find an excuse to keep you. You know what I'm saying? So it's all subject, man. That's the truth of the matter. If they want to keep you, man, they'll find a reason to keep you. If they try to get rid of you, they'll use the same excuse, right? But flip it a different way to get rid of you. So it's all based on how much love and respect or how much love the university got for you,
Wow. Great answer.
Yeah, that's the truth of me.
So I wanted to talk about a little bit. What were some of your biggest disappointments so far this season? And I mean, team wise, and maybe even COVID. Maybe COVID's the number one biggest disappointment for you. But team wise, man, like a few teams you just throw out there, and then you throw out why.
I'll go ACC.
Okay.
North Carolina.
Okay.
To me, that was a huge disappointment. And early in the season, I was trying to figure out, because we talking about COVID, because they played a game, then they had to wait, I think, 2 to 3 weeks before it played another game, so you was like, okay, is that COVID? There's a reason why they're not playing up into the hype, but that's the team, man, that's been a really disappointment. You look at the numbers, though, offensively, they're starting to get on track. Passing game, that receiver, he leads the ACC in pass yardage and stuff like that. Quarterback, I think they're second pass efficiency in the ACC conference. But overall, and then they 2 running backs is great. But with the talent they have.
MB, they top 10. I think the 2 backs both top 10 in rushing in college.
That's what I'm saying.
Like maybe top 15 at the low. Yeah.
I mean, and their receiver is blowing up now. Brown. I mean, but man, they just playing to the level of competition. If they start off playing Syracuse. I know the end score don't show up, but they ain't pull away to that game fourth quarter.
Right.
Yep. And then, but I mean, just some tough losses. I mean, like bad losses, not tough losses, just bad losses with all the talent they have. And just Sam Howell, it may not show on paper. He's starting to turn it up as late, but man, just really disappointing just overall, man, especially with the talent they have and the high expectation, man, it just seemed like they just choked, man. So I'm really disappointed in North Carolina.
Well, I'm going to slide in there and say, Grove put in there, don't fire them, but evaluate them on the COVID curve. So he's talking about the coaches. Evaluate them on the COVID curve, taking into consideration the keys to the wins and losses. So he's kind of, saying what you said, I think, in that last sentence, but you went ahead and put it out there. Look, if they want to keep you, they're going to make them wins sound way better than them losses. And
exactly.
Vice versa. If they want to get rid of you, they're going to make them losses sound way worse, than the couple wins you had.
No doubt.
Yes. So you said UNC, I actually had them on my list too. I'm going to throw 2 more at you. I'm going to say FSU. I listen, I know you don't really like them, MB. I know that the hatred you got, the Miami Florida State game thing. But I don't like my Florida State looking like this, man. I can't do it. As a Florida guy, I can't look at FSU look like this. And then the final team is Penn State, man. No way I would have told you all they were going to come out the gate 0-3. Really?
Yeah.
0-3 and losses against Indiana and Maryland. 0-3.
Yeah, that's bad.
Those are my 2.
Yeah, no, well said. Florida State, I mean, I definitely Penn State. I agree with that one. Florida State, I mean, I don't think it was a high expectation just because their cover is bare. They don't have a lot of talent, so I think people kind of giving them a pass. And obviously, like you say, when you talk about give a person a COVID pass, it will definitely be their new coach, and because they know the cover is bare. I mean, they didn't have a quarterback. They found a quarterback, didn't have. So to me, talent wise, they not where they should be,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I definitely agree with the other ones, man, no doubt.
And then we're gonna flip the conversation. Opposite of disappointment is success. So, what's your biggest surprises thus far? Any teams that come to mind?
I would probably go. I mean, I know the season just started for the Big Ten, but you mentioned about Penn State. Well, Indiana, you know,
Right there, you go.
They got two surprising wins over Penn State, and then they backed it up with the win over Michigan. You know, and I don't think they beat Michigan since the '80s. You know.
Yeah, I think it was something crazy, like 40 years beating them at the Big House. It was like something crazy.
Yeah. What's up, Dedrick say Michigan. He thought Michigan was a surprise, you know. Oh, okay. Yeah. And then I like we'll go back to that. I like what my boy Greg said. What's up, G? LSU, you know, but LSU are so many players, but you think with the type of talent they get, they didn't fall off that bad, you know?
But MB, they went right back to the old LSU that we've known for years and no quarterback. That was the difference. You know, where they've struggled at that quarterback position, and usually they don't stink like they stink now, but the quarterback position always held them with 3-4 losses. Yeah. You know, when they were always better than 3 or 4 losses.
Yeah, no doubt.
So another team. So my biggest surprises, AAC, Cincinnati being ranked number 7, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Like number 7 in the country. They're number 1 at AAC. Then you got ACC. I'm gonna get to Miami. I listen. Miami has, I mean, they've done a great job in free agency in the offseason. And have turned that into a 5-1 record. So that's my biggest surprise as well. Notre Dame 6-0. That's been a huge surprise. Number 3 in the country, right? Then we got Big Ten, Indiana, like you just said, Michael Penix at quarterback. And then the Big 12, man. Who number 1 in the Big 12? When I say Big 12, who you think? Who ballers out there?
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, Texas, right?
Yeah,
you know,
Oklahoma.
TCU, right? Oklahoma, of course, they've been the big dog. No, man, Iowa State, number 1 in the Big 12, baby.
Yeah.
5-1.
Yeah, they got a head coach over there because that guy's name rumored to get a lot, you know, a lot of anytime a job is available, he's been parlaying that to a new contract, you know. But yeah,
you're right, MB. He's probably had the last 3 seasons. He's had key upsets.
Exactly. They've been getting it done. Hey, you know what? Another name of throw on the list is, that's been taking advantage of this COVID thing is Liberty, man. They beat VTech last week. You know,
that's CMB, and I know, you know, you talk about top to bottom, you know, ACC.
Yeah,
you know, are they the best league, man? Listen, when you talk about that, like that kills us. That kills us as a conference. You know, this is the time it'll be where I tell you a lot, man. Root for the conference. This is why, because it makes your conference look like it stink. You know, once a Liberty beats, you know, a team in your conference, that guess what? Miami got to play them this week. So what if y'all lose to Liberty?
Lose to Virginia Tech. Yeah, that's a bad loss.
You're capable of doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now they got us projected to lose. We're underdogs versus Virginia Tech.
Wow.
Yeah, so and Virginia Tech right now may be out with their leading rusher. Herbert is out of the game. Questionable for the game with the hamstring. He only played one play last week, and I think that has a big role into it as well because I mean he's got over 800 yards rushing. He's one of the top 5 rushers in the NC2A this year. Hands down, and not having him in that game, I mean, that definitely handicapped them because they're the number 1 rushing offense with 277 yards in the ACC. So that win, not to take anything from Liberty, because still without him, Liberty, Virginia Tech still should have won. But Liberty, man, they I think Hugh Freeze is the head coach, man. They're surprised. They getting it done, man. You know, but definitely that's a bad loss. So when you talk about ACC, I mean, what do you think about our conference? Is it just top heavy with Notre Dame and Clemson, or is it, is it still? Are we? What's your thoughts on that, Klew?
Well, I would honestly say, man, before a game like that, I would have argued that if you look at the Big Ten and the ACC, SEC, you could make a argument for who held supreme when you're talking about conferences. I would think those three you could have an argument. After a loss by Virginia Tech like that, you got to drop us, to the bottom of those three, because you look at Virginia Tech, they're in the middle of the pack in the ACC. So if you saying a middle of the pack type team, top middle of the pack, a team like Liberty can come in, waltz in, and beat you, then how good it really is your conference? So I think we take a back seat because of that. That game that you actually talked about is the reason why I would say, out of those three conferences I just named, we fall behind. We fall to the third spot because of that. Yes, we're top heavy now. We got Notre Dame, we got Clemson, we got Miami. I mean,
When you say conferences, right? Which give me besides SEC is one. What conference would be two?
I said Big Ten.
Big Ten, huh?
Right. I mean, SEC, Big Ten. I would argue Big Ten right now. With Indiana being as good as they are, Wisconsin being really, really tough. Of course, their record doesn't show it right now, just because they ain't got a chance to play a whole lot of games thus far. But you look at them. You look at a Michigan. Michigan has a tough loss already. I think they're 1-2 or something crazy. But that's a team that you can match up with anybody in the SEC, and look out, here we come. So I'm just saying, man, I think Big Ten right now, top to bottom, probably the best team, best conference in the league.
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, just when you talk about Wisconsin, I mean, they got a redshirt freshman quarterback who had a good day, but he had a good day against Illinois. So you got to factor into what that is. He haven't had anything proven, and then against anybody yet. So I was curious to see definitely if he's able to play. How he play up against Michigan, but Michigan still is. I mean, with those losses that they have, and they got a lot of question marks across the board. Their quarterback, even though he's having as far as run with his leg and intermediate passing game, but he's still inconsistent throwing a deep ball, accuracy and stuff like that. Then running game is still a question mark. And then their defense is not as strong as been in the past. And then you talk about one of the biggest disappointment with Penn State, and then you got, so for me right now, the only clear-cut team is Ohio State. No, everybody else has still got a question.
Now you can't. How you going? Indiana number one in the league right now.
I apologize, Indiana, right? So to me, as far as Big Ten, but when you look at ACC, right? You got Clemson, you got Notre Dame, right? Notre Dame, both of those teams playing each other, even though Trevor Lawrence was out, still the quarterback, they step up to the plate, he reload, and he did an excellent job. And then Notre Dame got the number one defense in the ACC. And then on top of that, then you got Boston College that's solid. You got Miami, right? That's there. They still not, where I think they should be. They still got some development to do, especially on defense, and still get the running game of protection going on. But then you look at the other teams, right? And here's the thing: like Pitt was a disappointment. They started off on fire, had ugly loss. We've been having some ugly loss. And what I mean ugly loss within the conference against unranked teams, And North Carolina kind of leads that. But, I mean, for me, man, I would take our conference just because we got at least 3 to 4 teams that we're saying, man, they're solid. They're good to play. And I would take them any day of the week against Big Ten.
That's a great way of looking at it. The pushback I'll give you on that is I'll say, look, the ACC, you have Notre Dame, you have Clemson. Right now, we've shown it stops right there, because when Clemson played Miami, they destroyed them. So that puts a gap in between those first two teams and then everybody else. You see what I mean? So I think that hurts because Miami finish is in third place and deserves third place and can beat and should beat everybody else on the list, minus maybe UNC, who we don't know who's going to show up from week to week. So that's what I think kills us as well. And like you said, then you add losing to each other and losing to each other with the other teams who are unranked. You go to SEC and they wave and they flag again because you look at them and you say Alabama, who can touch it, right? You say
Right.
Texas A&M, you say Florida, and then you start arguing about everybody else because, now the question is, how good is Georgia really? You know that? We
Yep.
weren't saying that 2 weeks ago. But now after getting destroyed by Florida, we're trying to figure out who is Georgia now.
Yeah, no doubt. But like Double A say, and that's a good point. Double A saying, hey, we got 3 teams in the top 10 ACC, right? And
it's not that simple though. It's easy to say that, MB, but okay, we got 3 teams in the top 10. Are we saying that Miami deserves to be up there close in the top 10, anywhere close to Clemson and Notre Dame? Are they that close? If they even 7 spots away or 6 spots away,
Well, you know what? It depends though, because I don't have the top 10 in front of me. But when you look at the other teams besides the top 3, top 4, how big is that gap, right? When you talk about Cincinnati, who have they played? BYU is undefeated. They're creeping up, right? You got some teams that's in there, from my understanding, that it may be a huge gap between the top 4, top 3 from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So, and you talk about the Big 12 conference, right? Oklahoma State was hovering around there, man. They took an L, Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, so with this whole COVID thing, right, it's a question mark by a lot of different things. I think Klew dropped the mic on me. He'll be right back.
Yeah. I'm trying to get on.
Yeah, you're fine. So it's some question marks with that. So I think this question is definitely good. I think ACC is definitely second behind SEC. Big Ten, they ain't played enough for me, and the games they did play, it ain't saying too much. So I'm going with the ACC because even like I said, a North Carolina, a Pitt who lose their starting quarterback, but they had a bad loss before they lost them. You see the talent out there. They just got to get it done,
Right.
Most definitely. And then it seemed like Wake Forest 4-2 trying to get it done. But when you look at the ACC, especially the games at this week, we got Miami versus Virginia Tech. Like I said, right now, Virginia Tech is favored to beat Miami. They're 2 points favored, and they beat them last year. And I can see why they would say that, right, to some degree. Just because Miami, man, we've been playing a backup quarterback last 2 games, and we've been making those quarterbacks look like Heisman candidates, as far as the pass game is concerned. So we got to definitely clean that up and just continue to develop. But so I can see that with Virginia Tech, when you talk about one of the kryptonites of Miami is, as far as defense-wise, blown coverages and stopping the stretch play. And Virginia Tech, man, they do a lot of stretch plays. And then when you look back at that Virginia game, right, we gave, I think, a lot of yards on the ground, and a lot of those came from the quarterback, either design runs or scrambling. And this guy does a great job. Hooker does a great job, if it's not there, tucking that thing and going. And then obviously with Herbert being out, man, he was definitely, just toting the ball a lot. So to me, it's which quarterback performs the best. That's going to be the key in Miami, man. Just think, man, where would it have been without Derek King?
Not playing great football because he saved the day.
Because I mean, especially when you looked at earlier, you was like, okay, the running game is there. Okay, the O-line getting it done. But then now the running game has been on a milk carton But the thing I like about it, though, they keep running the ball because that helps upset the play action pass and whatnot. And then now you see with him more design quarterback runs. Last week had over 100 yards, had 5 touches, 400 yards. So if he continue to do that performance, because VTech defense, they're not the same. They got, even though they're great as rushing a passer, I think they're great at leading the ACC in sacks. But pass defense, man, they got some open spots that we could take advantage of and get that thing done, So it like you say, going against the grain, if the grain is for Miami to lose, hey, I'm definitely going against the grain and say those Hurricanes going to get it done, baby. And like Allen, Double A, hey, that's why we play the game, baby. That's why. So I'm definitely counting on my Hurricanes to get it done this week, man. Take the defense, the special team, and definitely Derek King on the road. Get this thing going. Get Virginia Tech. Other ACC games, you got Wake versus North Carolina. Wake been playing good of late, but I see North Carolina with the talent they have, man. They should continue to get going. I think the offense is starting to wake up. They're not hibernating anymore. They getting that thing done. And then like Klew. Are you back, Klew?
I'm trying to be.
Okay. And then we'll talk about this. Then you got Louisville, Virginia. Louisville started off on fire with the offense. They still got a good offense with the triplets over there. And then Virginia, man, with that 3-card Molly offense they got the quarterback back. He showed up against Miami. And then Quadix they had like 400 yards against Clemson defense when they played them. But that offense with the Wildcat situation, all the stuff they do, they just so smart. They try to get you with that stuff. And Louisville defense haven't been playing. They can't play dead in the cowboy move. They've been playing that by 40 defense, get beat by 40.
Right.
So that's bad. And then Pitt got Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech started off on fire, beating Florida State. And then they 2-5, and Pitt. They lost the quarterback, so I think they get him back this week. They should get it done. And then you got Florida State and North Carolina State. I think North Carolina State's going to get that. They're 4-3, Florida State 2-5. They'll get that done. But we was talking about Notre Dame, and the ACC game of the week, I guess, would be, besides Miami and Virginia Tech, be Notre Dame and BC. Oh, Klew, what's your thoughts on that?
I think that's a great game. 2 very similar type teams. I think when you look at Notre Dame, they want to run the football. They want to make play action pass, get the ball down the field. When they have an opportunity to take a shot, they're gonna take a shot. And they're gonna play very solid defense. I think they proved to the whole world last week against a great Clemson team, and I know everybody gonna keep saying minus Trevor Lawrence. I don't think Trevor could have played any better than that freshman did, y'all. I'm sorry to say that. That freshman held his own. The numbers he had, I don't think Trevor would have had any better than that. However, when you look at Boston College, I don't know if y'all remember MB evaluating them when Miami played them. He said they're gonna play solid defense, they're gonna run the football. Listen, if you talk about Notre Dame, you talk about Boston College, you're talking about very similar teams, obviously minus the better players being at Notre Dame. So this game ain't going to just be a blowout. I think if Notre Dame blows them out, man, they've taken their game to another level. I don't think I'm looking for a blowout. I'm looking for, maybe 2.5 score win where they really start to really flex their muscle or impose their will in the end of the third and off into the fourth. But I think it's going to be a great game. As a matter of fact, I got it on our list for games to watch.
Yeah. I think it'll be definitely a good game. I think instead of Catholics versus convicts, it's Catholics versus Catholics. So, so they'll definitely and then BC historically always played Notre Dame tough, and I think they're doing a great job up there with the new head coach. And I think BC, the biggest there to me, it's like a revenge game too. Ain't no turn the other cheek right here, because you look at their quarterback for BC. he was at Notre Dame.
Wow.
You know? He transferred from Notre Dame.
Wow.
He was behind it, you know, and he felt like he didn't get an opportunity. And so he took his show on the road. So I know with that, Djokovic, he's been playing great all year. And they finally started getting the running game going on. I mean, you know, they had a cheese game. Don't take the cheese game against Syracuse last week. I think they barely beat Syracuse 16-13, you know. But I know they're looking ahead to this Notre Dame game. So for me, I think they got a chance. You know, obviously they played the same Clemson team tough. And Clemson minus Trevor Lawrence, obviously, but DJ played great. And I'll steal what you said earlier. The way DJ played it, I think Trevor couldn't have played any better, you know?
Right.
But so for me, you can't sleep on BC. I think they got a great coaching staff. They understand what's at stake. You know, the coaches are good at taking away what Notre Dame do well. But with Notre Dame defense, man, that's the thing, man. They pack in the box they play a lot of cover 3, so they're gonna pack the box, man. And then when they blitz, they go out. You know, I think definitely, you know, the defense. I'm predicting that the defense will get them over the block, but I don't know. It could be take the cheese, Klew. It could be. It could be going against the grain.
See,
it could.
It's interesting that you say that, which makes our league suffer. If you cannot afford that for the league, MB.
Exactly, you cannot.
But I agree, it can happen.
Yeah, it can. And I think somebody mentioned that earlier when we was talking about the conference. I think Double A, you know, unless BC wins this week, you know,
right,
and that's definitely a possibility. I mean, right now they got Notre Dame 13.5 points favored to win, but you know, I mean, if I'm BC, man, I'm packing the box and I'm still forcing Ian to prove us that he could beat us in the air, you know?
Yeah, because Kyron will go wild on you if you don't put that ninth guy in the box, boy. He gonna make a believer out of it.
No doubt, no doubt.
The other game to watch, MB, and we're not gonna spend any time on it, but because of those, if you saw the games that I took away early on that we talked about, then Wisconsin at Michigan is kind of like the last game, MB, with games to watch.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, you know, as far as with Wisconsin. Just the fact, you know, they got a question mark at quarterback, right?
Right.
And their quarterback got COVID. Both of them, they're both top 2 quarterbacks got COVID. Man, they'll be on a 4th-string quarterback going against Michigan. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, the guy, I think Graham, the one who had the great day against Illinois, I mean, only had missed 1 completion, 90%, over 90% completion and whatnot. He's a problem, you know.
That's right.
But then Wisconsin, obviously, they got a good overall team as well. But man, I mean, to go if their quarterback doesn't play, and then him being a redshirt freshman, and now he's got to go through the concussion protocol, and now you're talking about the earliest he could practice was yesterday on Thursday. You know, I mean, what is that saying? You know,
wow.
Michigan ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? And they got some great Don Brown, the defensive coordinator. They definitely put something together, even though Michigan lost one of their top defensive players, defensive end, fractured his leg. But still, man, I don't know, man. It's one of those games that's a big question mark based on who's able to play. If the quarterback
Uncle Willie say Notre Dame is overranked. And it's a good thing that they are only playing games within the conference. Well, Notre Dame traditionally plays a safe schedule. Really, the only game they missing is USC. That USC game that they generally play. MB.
Yeah, USC. Then they play Navy. I think they play.
Oh yeah. They'll play
Navy. Who else they play? They usually play one more big team. You know.
Maybe a Big Ten game.
Yeah. They usually play somebody else. I'm drawing a blank on it. They typically play somebody else.
I'm finna call you out.
Double A said the replacements, baby.
Hey, you know, MB, I'm about to call you out on something.
Hey, hold on. Double A, I agree. That dude is definitely a problem for the coach, man. He went to North Carolina State. He's definitely a problem. We'll get to that in a minute. Go ahead, Klew.
Yeah, I'm about to call you out on something. we had USC in the building, and I say, MB, make sure you put that song. They fight song in there. That song.
I know.
There's something about that song, man.
Okay.
MB played some song I ain't never heard. Everybody out there, balls, y'all know that song. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
MB didn't play that song, man. I was so hot, MB.
I played the song. The Fight On song is the one song they play at the end of the game.
That ain't the song everybody know when USC.
But you see, when I ain't know when you talking about that Fight On, they was all in that thing, man.
But look, man, you know when them boys out there playing, you start looking for the Calvary, like, boy, they out here balling, boy. When you start hearing that, boy, you start thinking about Reggie Bush and you all go all the way back to OJ, man. OJ done broke for 60 again.
Yeah. What? Look, AD, Reggie Bush, March.
Yeah,
you got like here's the question. Thanks, guys, for helping us out. You had Notre Dame. We said USC. Then Coach Hugh. Thanks, Coach Hugh. Played Stanford. And then Uncle Billy said Michigan.
Right. I did think it was a Big Ten team. They always sneak in there and play. So they are missing a couple games, but pretty much they playing a schedule. So I'm really not gonna knock Notre Dame because I think the problem with Notre Dame that we're having is we don't have anybody to say that's the reason why they winning. And we need to get as players, MB and I, as MB being coach, he'd rather a team like Notre Dame where you can't just pinpoint one or two guys. Like that's why Notre Dame was able to beat Clemson. MB told y'all what was gonna happen. He said, "Look, I don't care what happened. They ain't gonna let ETN beat them."
I told
like, you didn't listen. Look what happened. MB, they had a receiver go for 161. They had a quarterback to throw for 400 yards.
They had another receiver. Rodgers had over 100 yards too.
MB, guess who didn't do nothing?
Right. And then they took his lunch money on a little pitch. They tried to get him and scoop and score. Yeah, I knew when I saw their defense, I said, and I saw how they make adjustments, but I saw their primary cover is cover 3 deep zone, like Seattle Seahawks. I was like, they're not gonna let this dude beat him because they're not gonna play a lot of man. And they're gonna keep in front of him, and they're gonna smash this dude, and that's what he did, But I knew it'd be some opportunity in the passing games and stuff, and they was gonna force that quarterback to beat him, which they did, And they had three. They caused 3 fumbles, and that's big,
So we've all been in this situation, MB and myself. MB, that dude who had that 9 jersey on that week, he was hating life, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Scout Team 9, boy, he was high from them jokes. But you know what was happening, MB. And MB will tell you, as a coach, as a player, them coaches is going nuts. If he get a yard,
exactly,
they try to rip your head off. So literally in the game, y'all, you can actually see when you cut on the tape, the speed of the defense changes when that guy they trying to stop gets the ball.
Yeah, no doubt. Well said, Klew. I'm telling you, because that's why I was so disappointed with my Hurricanes, because he was all the offense. I'm like, this dude, they doing screens, they doing running game, I'm like, what are they doing? Like, and it's like it's not like they didn't know. They went through the same game plan. They knew exactly the same thing that he did to everybody else. All right, he was doing it. He's gonna do to them, and they let him off the hook. So Notre Dame, I think they executed game plan, so they got it done, man. And that defense is showing up, man. They're
in your Denny Green voice, you let them off the hook.
Let them off the hook.
Hey, look, LaMelo Ball, man, a couple of weeks ago, they article came out saying that he's dropping in the draft, I guess, from 1 to 3. Boy, I take that drop. But the reason why they talking about he took a drop is because of interview. Now, I want to discuss this with MB because basically they're saying he's not the number one guy, he's not the number two guy, he's fallen to 3 or maybe even 4 based on how communications in the meetings are going with him and NBA, different NBA organizations. So MB had to make he had to meet with these same type guys from an NFL perspective. And even if you really want to talk about it, he met with these same type guys when they were in high school getting ready to go to college. MB, can you really make an assessment? I mean, obviously, we all know you have to make an assessment, but can you really make an assessment and a determination on, will I take a kid? Will I go after him as my number one linebacker? Will I go after him as my number one first round pick based on just talking to me?
Yeah, no doubt, because the film is what the film. I mean, the film, and then you have the combine to confirm his athleticism. He puts up the numbers and all that stuff. But it's more, especially when you go to that level. Like we used to tell the kids all the time at talent is not enough. Wow. It's going to take that grit. It's going to take. Wow. So even like Seattle, for example, right, or other teams, they have ways, or the Wonderlic test, right, or different things they have them do to see what their mindset is like, man. To see, we talk about the Black Mamba mentality, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are looking for that, right? Because you think about it, Klew, right? Mm-hmm. When you talk about who, say NFL, for example, right?
Okay.
Who's arguably, right, the greatest receiver of all time?
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice ran a 4.6.
Right.
But what separates Jerry Rice that we didn't know the term back then was the grit, his work habits, his commitment on being the best, right? I'll look at running backs, right? Emmitt Smith, all-time right?
I'm a sweetness guy.
That's it, exactly. But you look at his toughness, you look at him running the heels, right? With his kangaroo shoes on and his headband, right? You look at quarterback, right? It's not generally the most talented player, right?
Yeah.
It's the guy that got the heart, got the grit, the Joe Montanas, the Tom Brady's, right? Those guys like that. So talent is not enough. So I'm not surprised, especially on that level, especially with the NBA, because a lot of those lottery picks are busts.
Right.
Just think about the guys that went first or second pick, right?
Yeah.
Don't even play.
Yeah.
That's a bust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unheard of. I mean, you see more so with NFL every now and then, but those guys, man, in the NFL, they're counting on those guys to play. And the NBA, the competition is so steep, on that bench, that guys who on the lottery sometimes don't get to play. So for me, and you look at the programs or the teams that's selected, the Timberwolves and the Golden State and those teams, man, they ain't got time to be dealing with no headache. And then on different that, right? I don't know what it is. It's just assuming, right? But usually whenever you go in the interview process, you already did your research on the guy. So it's some questions marks out there, and you want to see how he responds to that. So I'm assuming I did not get an opportunity to read the article, right, or do the background work, but it's questions about his character, right? Could be. I'm hypothetically, right? I'm talking about his character on and off the field, right?
Right.
Outside looking in, people talking about baby daddy. I'm talking about his daddy, right? if you want to deal with that headache, right? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that come across, and then you don't know behind the scenes if he's like acting big time before he even played the price. And what I mean, he went overseas, he played. It's the headache worth if the headache is worth the reward. You see what I'm saying? Especially with the level right now, it's no clear cut number one pick. You got Edwards, right? You got the guy from Memphis that could be, you know what I'm saying? Still, so I'm not surprised that, man, they line up talent wise and not separate them. It could be the work habit. It could be, man, this guy too high maintenance. I don't want to deal with it. It's not a fit for my program. I ain't got enough. I ain't want to deal with da 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 da. his list of men. It could be anything, but those are things what you're talking about, Klew. Yeah, where you want to see and you want to ask those interview questions, and you want to see whatever rumors or based on your research that came up, you want to see how he responds to that. Right. And if he doesn't respond, man, then you like, man, this dude. I give you an example. It was a linebacker. I don't want to say his name, but man, we had a lot of question marks, man, about his off the field character and and what he brought to the table. Outstanding athlete, man. I'm talking about top 5 talent, right?
Right.
I have to do the question. I say, man, if we bring you to Seattle, man, what are we gonna get? He said, MB, man, you're gonna get a real live in ninja.
No, he didn't say that. I ain't gonna let you. Hey, I ain't gonna let you lie on that man in cyberspace. I won't let you take our international podcast and put that man in the street like this here.
Hey Lou. Hey Lou. Oh, okay. Hey Lou. I'm telling you.
You see how fast I cut you off? You saw how fast I cut you off?
Hey Lou, he said that.
No.
He said you get a real live ninja. And I was like, no, he didn't. Oh Lord. I had to take my brother to the side, like, man, I understand what you're saying, man, but you gotta clean some stuff up, you know. And then you put him on the board and whatnot. You ask him some questions, and then mentally not comprehend it. Like I said, I'm just speculating with ball, but it could be, I don't know what his basketball IQ is like. I don't know off the field character, on the field character, but those things. So when you see that, right, then it's like, man, some guys took the guy off his board just because of all the then questionable failed drug tests, you know, stuff like that. You took him off the board just because the character didn't match up, and that's what we end up doing, you know?
Oh man, stop it. Y'all took him to the second round, didn't you? You picked him up on the second round.
No, he still ended up going first round, but I mean he didn't last. It ended up catching up with him. But obviously, for every story like that, you got stories like a Randy Moss, right? I don't know why my uncle put Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders had no off the field issues. You know what I'm saying? Right here, my man Warren Sapp, you know, had question marks then. Not about, but that's my boy. No question about his work habits or on the field, but question about failed drug tests. He dropped, and you see how he bounced back from it. So you just got to do your research. You know, you really got to do your research and find out for yourself. That's why those interviews are so important, right? Because you want to get behind the scenes in a comfortable setting and see how he respond. And then that's where you got everybody on deck reading at the body language, reading at what he says to see exactly is it true, is it live, or is it Memorex? You feel me? And those are things that you got to figure out, you know. But hey, yeah, obviously, it's some guys.
You gotta love it, baby. He came at y'all. Hey, that was that should have been on the episode of When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong.
and that's what he felt like you were doing. Because I knew him already. So he just felt comfortable. And I was like, but I was recording the thing. I was like this. I was like, oh, Jesus. You can't say that, you know?
Hey,
I had to say, 18, 20-year-old brain that haven't fully developed, you know? But those are things that you got to do your work research, and you got to see. I remember, and I'll say this and we'll move on. I remember Jimmy Johnson. You know, they said, why did you trade for Charles Haley based on all the stuff that you heard? And Jimmy said, man, I knew he cared about ball, but I knew I could reason with him. Besides all the other stuff, I knew I could reason with him. You know? And when he said that, I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And it's based on the environment that you in. Some environments, they take a high character guy off. They don't want to deal with it. You know, they only want to deal with it. Some environments are better suited to take care of that because you got strong leadership in the building that can handle that, you know? So those are the things. So they're not afraid of taking those chances on those guys. So like I said, man, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely we can see here and say a lot of different things.
Golly, Tupac, y'all almost drafted Tupac in the first round. Hey, look, we near the end.
Uncle Billy, he cleared up his Barry Sanders with clean car, referring to him to the boss. I got you, Uncle Bill. Okay.
Right, he was talking about the best ballers.
Yeah, exactly.
When I named Walter Payton, that's what I was saying. He was.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's some key divisional matchups coming up. And we'll go by real quick because we near the end of the show. It'll be Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh. That's an easy one. Huh? That's an easy one. That
was a big question mark about division with that because the whole thing is with Big Ben. Big Ben right now, he's under COVID. Right. Not because he tested positive, because McDonald's with the contact tracing. So it's a possibility. Right now, if all the tests go well, I mean, he's cleared to practice on Saturday, I believe, and he'll be able to play. But obviously, I mean, him and Williams, some other guys, but obviously, I know Burrows is doing well, but Cincinnati, man, their offensive line is not good, and Pittsburgh lead the league in sacks. So whether Ben play or not, there ain't gonna be no question mark.
Eagles versus the Giants. I like them New York Football Giants, man, in this game. I think we finally get 2 in a row.
You know what? Hey, where my man Steven Rivers? Initially I would say that, but I mean, right now. I mean, especially with Carson Wentz, man. I mean, he's leading the league in interception with 12.
Right.
And the boy from Duke, he not too far behind him. He got 9.
Hey, he can run the ball though. Daniel can run the ball, baby.
Yeah. You say what?
He can run the ball. We just fall down. You know,
he trip over his own shoe. He can't chew bubble gum and walk and run at the same time. But right now, is if it's true that the Eagles are expecting a boatload of guys to come back from injuries, then I think that's going to make the difference. Miles Sanders, running back, stuff like that. Then I could take some of that, and then Jeffries, and then the other receiver they drafted this year. I think, man, that Reagan or something like that from TCU. If they can get those guys back, man, then for me, I think Philly's going to get it, man. I hate going against my Cowboys, but I agree with Uncle Billy, man. They'll get this thing going, you know?
So Seattle and LA against the Rams. Seattle coming off a tough loss last week, where instead of talking about the game, your boy Russell Wilson went politician. Man, what he running for? He gonna run for president 2028?
What he do?
Man, you got to pull it up. It's too long to even talk about. But basically, he went up there and started talking about how people need to love and care about each other.
Oh, good Lord!
Yeah, he ain't even talk about the game.
Oh, he talked about what he wanted to talk about, huh?
Right. And so after I finished watching that, I said Wilson 2028, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No doubt. Hey, and he can do it. I know Kanye West talking about he do it, but Russ definitely can do it. He good people, man. So definitely. But yeah, that's a tough right there. Division battle too. Right now, Seattle barely holding on to a 1-game lead, 6-2, I think, and the Rams in Arizona behind them with 5-3. So the Rams, man, defensively they've been playing well, and so obviously, man, this is definitely a good matchup, man, for them. Take advantage, and I think the Rams all been, I mean, just their scheme along and whatnot, and I you know what? Where is this game at? I think I'm gonna go with the Rams.
It's in LA. That's why
I'm gonna go with
LA.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams as well. I hate the band the Seahawks. Don't kill me. I know Uncle Billy going Seahawks, but I'm gonna go with the Rams, man. They defense, man. I mean, they had 7 sacks last week against Buffalo, and still just giving up too many yardage, man. Their pass defense is still a big question mark. And right now they're starting to do something they normally don't do, is blitz a lot, but they don't have no choice. They got to bring pressure. And I just think the Rams with their balanced attack on offense get the run game going, and that's a whole package. I think they're probably gonna come out on top, man.
All right, Denver at Vegas, baby. And when I just saw this game, MB, I'm looking through the notes, looking at this game, I thought, man, what if we went to Vegas to play a game? I know about 4 jokers off the top of my head may not have made it on Sunday.
Yeah. Thank God it's COVID.
Hey, it'll be, or they would have been a shell of themselves.
Exactly. No doubt. They definitely would have been at. They'd have been at, hey, we'd have had extra security that week, man.
Oh yeah.
Just on every hall. You had to watch. Bless his heart out. But some things, what about the Bible says it's better not to even speak about some of those things. But you're right. You would have had to watch people come. Security early.
Hey, Hey man, them Joe would have broke out of prison. I can tell you that. Whether they had to dress up like a cheerleader to get up out of there. So we did a little reverse. So instead of dressing up like a football player, they gonna dress up like a cheerleader to get out. Or they were gonna pay their way up out of there. They were getting up out of there.
That definitely would have. And surprising people. Hey, based on the coaches we had, our coaches
LB, I ain't gonna name names, boy.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I ain't gonna do that.
Don't do it.
Boy, LB, I was a rookie. We were playing the Falcons, and I went out to dinner, came back. Boy, like 5 of them drunker than a skunk downstairs at the thing. And listen, man, I'm just getting out of college. You don't see that stuff. Yeah. And Klew, what's up, baby? I'm like, what is going on? Are y'all acting like college kids right now?
Hey, Klew, it's a long work week, baby. So Fridays, Saturdays, man, you trying to get it in, man. They trying to excel, man. So,
but it was preseason now. Yeah, this was preseason.
Yeah. Okay, say that. Yeah, but still, Friday, Saturday for a coach, man, you need some type of release. So they try to get it in, man.
Hey, man, they was getting it in for real, and I was bold because I'm like, man, they really do this? Like, what is going on? and then during them inviting me to come over and join in and be.
No doubt. Hey, well, another game we got. I'm calling the rookie quarterback / black head coaches matchup. Miami against the Chargers, man. What's your thoughts on that, Klew?
Miami and the Chargers.
Yeah, you got it's going to be the only matchup between black head coaches, right? Coach Lynn, right? And then the rookie quarterback, right? Tua versus Herb, right? Tua drafted 5 and Herbert drafted 6. What's your thoughts on that? Well,
I like Herbert, man. I think he's played him and Joe Burrows. When you look at rookie quarterbacks, you gotta, immediately point to those guys who are being able to, play some great football under the circumstances. I guess Herbert got a little bit more talent than Burrows. However, both of them are playing lights out. I think Burrows has the edge. He'll win Rookie of the Year.
Oh, no. Oh, you talking about Rookie of the Year? Oh, yeah. No doubt.
But
I'm talking about, what do you think about that game?
I know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm about to get to that part now.
I got you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But Herbert is playing against Tua, who we still don't really know, man. He had a game that we tried to figure out how did Miami win, and he won. And then he came right back last week and had a very solid performance and actually helped them win. Who is Tua? I think we'll continue to see. Let's be honest, MB. With guys like Tua, defenses still haven't figured out, like, what do we do with him? Because he's so inconsistent right now. You don't know what his weaknesses and strengths are. It's just too early in the process. Because of that, he should still gain some more success before teams really start honing in on who this guy is. I think the quickest way you do it is you snatch 10 pages out of Brent Venables' book and you blitz the mess out of him if you meet, and you going against a rookie like that. Get him rattled, make him run, let him take a few shots early, and then see what you got. But I like Herbert, man. I think he's given us the better, more quality games thus far. So I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, I agree. But it's Miami definitely been packing their special team and defense, and hopefully they could do it again. Tua right now, he's got a lot of people. When you talk about help around him, He's got a lot of injuries. I think Williams is still out, the receiver. Just lost running back, thin at running back. So talent-wise, there's a lot of question marks around him and stuff. So if Miami can, and then the Chargers, they're out Bosa. So when you talk about blitz a lot, they're definitely going to have to do something that typically they don't do a lot of, is blitz. So hopefully they can mix some stuff up and get it done. So I definitely get that done. But it's going to be a great game, and it's going to be which quarterback, to me, don't make the which quarterback makes the least amount of mistakes, I think. And then what else you got, Klew? Anything else you got?
What?
And Double A said Miami team's been rolling this during COVID. The Marlins, the Heat, agree with that. And Uncle Billy said Miami's on a roll right now. They definitely got the momentum going in, and stuff like that.
Hey, look, man, it's time for us to do what? Go against the grain, baby. Hey, and I'm going against the grain this week. Listen, Lamar Jackson, we love you. We love everything about you. But Cam got to have you. Cam, you let me down the last time I went against the grain with you. Don't let it happen again, or I'll never mess with you again, man. Listen, I like Cam. I think Cam back is against the wall. I think Cam's now starting to play for the future of his career, man. I think every game right now, because I think if he doesn't turn it around now, right now, I'm talking about Sunday, he's going to be a problem in a different kind of way, because he's now going to be known as a backup. And, as his career fades away, he's going to turn into Jameis Winston and be backing up everybody wherever he goes. So I'm going against the grain with Cam Newton, because I think that Cam Newton, as a vet, understands what really is on the line right now.
You know what? I'm a join you this time, and I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna go with Buffalo and Arizona. I'm gonna go with Arizona, even though Arizona depleted at receiver and Buffalo offense is kicking with John Brown and Diggs. I don't know.
They're coming off a loss, MB. They just lost. It's a great team coming off a loss.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Arizona. I'm gonna go with them to go the upset over Buffalo, because Buffalo got to travel to Arizona. So I'm hoping that travel mess them up a little bit. So I'm gonna try you. I know you're the expert at it, but I'm gonna go against the grain. And I already went against the grain with my Hurricanes, so to beat Virginia Tech. So I went. So I got two against the grain.
Boy, they ain't going against the grain, man.
Hey, they got us selected to lose. I'm going against the grain, man.
You were going with that pick regardless.
No doubt. So it's just extra incentive.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all coming through, pulling up, hollering at us, because y'all know us. Man, I wish we could use everybody's music, man. I fade us out on JPE, Jam Pony Express, man.
Yeah, baby. Jam Pony.
Live on wax, red and black. Them were the colors, baby, red and black. We love y'all, man. We'll holler at y'all. See you next time.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, appreciate y'all, Double A, Uncle Billy, Steve. Appreciate you guys, man. Steve, I see the picture, man. I saw you. Appreciate the love, man.
You can take us off. I can't get this thing to go over.